Hi everybody, welcome back to On Air, my Beatles collection. This is episode 4 in a series of VJ Beatles albums. Today's VJ Beatle album is going to be Songs, Pictures, and Stories of the Fabulous Beatles. So of course I keep that in the poly sleeve. Let's take a closer look at that cover. This is a mono copy with a 3/4 gatefold sleeve. You'll notice this one has a sticker from Cleveland in September 1964. The presence of that sticker on this album adds tremendous value to this. Those stickers are few and far between, and it adds, as I said, literally a couple $100 in value. This is a nice clean copy. Again, it's in mono. Nice clean back, as you can see. A little glare there, but the type, you get a little bend there. That's pretty common. There's no seam splits at all. The record is, I keep it in a polyline sleeve. There's no factory VJ sleeve that came with this particular copy. I'd love to have one. I have one, others in other albums. And then, of course, when you go inside, you get yet another copy of Introducing the Beatles, because VJ only had the rights to the songs on Introducing the Beatles. So if you have the Beatles versus the Four Seasons, which I showed in a previous episode, guess what you got? Introducing the Beatles. Of course, if you have the album Introducing the Beatles, you got the same album. Now, all these that are in other albums besides Introducing the Beatles, but have the Introducing the Beatles record, are version 2. That is, they have, as the last song on side 1, Ask Me Why, not Love Me Do. Love Me Do is only on version 1, and the same is true with Please Please Me, being the first song on the second side. So, I'll just quickly pull out an Introducing the Beatles. This is a legit Introducing the Beatles. And you can see that this is a version 1 that has Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You. They lost the rights to Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You pretty early on, actually in January of '64, right after the album came out. So they quickly switched to version 2. So all of these reissues, like this one, that have Introducing the Beatles in them, have a version 2. Just like this one. So this is the VJ Brackets label with the color band. Some call it the rainbow label. As you can see, all the colors are rich and clean. The record itself is clean. It's a little bit of spindle wear. You can see a little bit of wear there. But this record's in very good shape. On this particular one, I'm going to show you another one in a minute. Again, this is mono, and the song titles are centered. We'll go to the next one. This is a stereo copy. This is worth considerably more than that one is. They're both, pretty valuable, and they, in this condition, they sell for a good price. This one says stereo across the top. Again, it's a 3/4 gatefold. Again, it's a nice back. This one has a little ring wear, as you can see up there. Not too much showing on the bottom, but there's ring wear across the top. I didn't make any attempt to try to clean that up or color it in or anything like that. This one did come with a factory sleeve. There's no reference to any other Beatles albums on this sleeve, but there is indirectly. Right there, there's the golden hits of the Four Seasons. If you bought the Beatles versus the Four Seasons, and I showed that on a previous episode in this series, you got not only that actual record, not the cover, of course, you got that record, and you got, guess what? Another copy of Introducing the Beatles. So That's what came in the Beatles versus Four Seasons LP. This one is, you just get it, just yet another copy of Introducing the Beatles. Only this time you get a stereo copy. And I'll show you that. In this case, the song titles are left justified. And you can see that it does say stereo right there on the label. Again, this one has minimal spindle wear, minimal label wear. Really nice, clean record. These are very hard to find in this condition. So I'm very happy to have that in this condition. So I don't know what my count is of various copies of Introducing the Beatles is up to. I have several copies of the actual Introducing the Beatles album and cover. As you know, I'm sure you know, there are many counterfeit copies of that album out in the wild. In fact, it is probably the most counterfeited album in all of music history. Some people call them bootlegs, but it's not really a bootleg. It doesn't offer any material that wasn't previously released. It's just a counterfeit. It's pretending to be an authentic album that it's not. I'm going to do in probably the final episode in this series. I'm going to cover Introducing the Beatles in some depth. I'll show you some legitimate version 1s, some legitimate version 2s. I'll show you, I don't have a stereo version 1. That would be the rarest Introducing the Beatles of them all. I do have a stereo version 2 that's legit. And I got several bootlegs. And I can show you, counterfeits. And I can show you how to detect the counterfeit pretty easily. There's at least 2 or 3 things that show up in almost every case. So it's not that hard to identify, but I'll do a separate episode on that. But so today it's just another copy of Introducing the Beatles, but it's in the Songs, Pictures, and Stories album. Now, if you're out there in the wild looking for a copy of this, don't get fooled by one that's called Songs and Pictures of the Fabulous Beatles, because it doesn't have the word stories in it. It's not an authentic copy. It's yet again another counterfeit trying to pose as this album, but it's not. And I think you'll find not only is it missing the word stories on the cover, it's probably going to have a counterfeit copy of Introducing the Beatles inside. So not even a real copy of the vinyl or the cover. I usually see those selling on eBay and other places like that for $30, $40, $50 if they're not trying to fool you too much. If they're trying to fool you a lot, or they don't know what they have, the seller doesn't know what they have, they may be looking for a couple of $100. But look at those carefully. And the other thing is, usually they're in shrink wrap, so you can't tell that it doesn't do this. It's just a flat cover that looks like this, missing the word stories. And again, it's got a counterfeit copy of the record itself on the inside as well. So try to stay away from those unless you just, a completist and you just like to have examples of fakes. Or you just don't want to spend the money for an original. These are not cheap, of course. So in this condition that you see here, you could probably expect to spend well over $100 for this record. For the stereo one that I showed you, you're going to spend a lot more than that. And if you have one with this concert sticker on it, you're going to spend a lot more than that too. So that's my last pre-introducing the Beatles episode here of VJ Albums. There'll be one more episode where I'll go in depth on introducing the Beatles album itself. So stay tuned for that. If you like this video today, please hit that thumbs up like button. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that button as well, and you'll get to see some more of my future videos. And of course, as a subscriber, you'll be able to see all the prior videos that I posted since I began the channel, I don't know, about 6 months ago. I think by now there's I don't know, 40 or 50 videos in there. I'm not sure how many, but there's a lot. So anyway, happy to have you here. Please come back and see us on air. Our Beatles collection. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.